So an e-bike that shuts down while you're riding can be a little bit scary. But I've got a list of things that as a bike mechanic I do before replacing expensive parts. We're gonna start with the free items and then get into the things that might cost a little bit of money. So hang on while we step through the things that cause your e-bike to cut out while riding. One of the most common problems I see is simply a bad battery connection. These e-bikes are heavy, they vibrate a lot, and over time the battery can develop loose connections with the bike. Start by removing the battery and checking the connections. Look for dirt, corrosion, moisture, or damaged pins. Some bikes use spring-loaded pins or metal tabs that can wear or spread apart over time. Clean everything carefully and make sure the battery locks in tight with very little movement. If that battery can wiggle around while riding, your power can cut in and out. Lots of times I'll actually reach in with a little screwdriver and bend the little prongs that will help grab onto the battery blades. That's a little pro tip for you. Most e-bikes have sensors inside the brake levers that shut the motor off when you brake. The problem is sometimes the lever doesn't fully return. A dry pivot, a sticky cable, or a damaged housing can cause the switch to stay partially activated, making the bike think you're braking when you're really not. Pull and release the brake lever a couple times and see if it changes. Sometimes a little bit of lubricant on the pivot points can actually solve the issue. I've also got a video that I'll point to above that talks about the E25 error you can get, and it's related to these brakes as well. Another really common problem, and I've got this problem on my Aventon 500, is loose wiring or connections, especially near the handlebars where everything moves every time you steer. My list is basically to check the display connector, the throttle connector, and the main wiring harness. Many of these plugs simply push together and can slowly back apart from vibration. Unplug them, inspect for bent pins or moisture, and then fully reconnect them. Now I see this quite a bit. If your bike cuts out during hard acceleration, steep climbs, or high pedal assist levels, the battery itself might be struggling under load. Inside the battery is something called a battery management system, or a BMS. Think of it as a little brain, and if it detects a weak cell in the battery or excessive current draw, it can shut the bike down to protect itself. Sometimes plugging the battery into a charger for a few seconds can temporarily reset it. Cold weather can also make this problem worse, especially if the battery is old and stored improperly. Here's a bonus list real quick. Look for blown fuses. Also, check the cadence sensor down near your crank. Make sure it's clean. And if your bike shuts down after long climbs or aggressive riding, the controller might be overheating. Hopefully one of these checks can get your bike back on the road without spending money. If your bike is cutting out, comment below with the brand and exactly what you did because it might help others out. And if this video helped, I'd love it if you hit subscribe, and as always, keep pedaling.